Legend: The Murders of Lovers Bridge. In the quiet coastal town of Seabreeze, Florida, nestled between dense forests and the endless Atlantic Ocean, there lies an old, decaying bridge known as Lover's Bridge. Once a picturesque spot where couples would stroll hand in hand, the bridge is now a place of dread, shrouded in a dark and tragic history. The legend dates back to the 1940s, a time when Seabreeze was a thriving fishing village, and the bridge was a symbol of connection between the town and the outer islands. The story centers around Elena, the beautiful daughter of a wealthy businessman, and Thomas, a humble fisherman. Their love was pure, but forbidden. Elena's father, a man of power and pride, despised Thomas for his poverty and saw him as unworthy of his daughter. Despite the threats and warnings, Elena and Thomas continued to meet in secret, their rendezvous point always the same: Lover's Bridge. One fateful night, under the cover of a violent storm, the couple decided to elope. They planned to meet at the bridge at midnight and escape together to start a new life far from Seabreeze. But Elena's father, suspicious of her late-night outings, followed her. When he discovered the truth, his rage knew no bounds. He confronted Thomas on the bridge, hurling insults and threats. In a fit of fury, he pushed Thomas into the churning waters below. Elena, witnessing the horror, screamed and leaped after her beloved, her cries swallowed by the storm. Their bodies were never found, and the bridge became a place of mourning. But the tragedy didn't end there. Soon after, locals began reporting strange occurrences: whispers in the wind, shadowy figures walking hand in hand, and an icy presence that seemed to linger on the bridge. The town quickly branded it cursed, and the legend of the Lover's Curse was born. It was said that any couple who visited the bridge after midnight would meet a tragic end, their fate intertwined with that of Elena and Thomas. Over the decades, Lover's Bridge became a magnet for thrill-seekers, skeptics, and hopeless romantics. But for every person who dared to test the legend, there was a story of terror. In 1972, two teenagers, Sarah and Michael, decided to visit the bridge on a dare. They were last seen walking toward the bridge, laughing and holding hands. The next morning, their car was found abandoned near the entrance, the doors wide open and the keys still in the ignition. A search party combed the area, but no trace of Sarah or Michael was ever found. Locals claim to have heard their laughter echoing across the water that night, followed by a sudden, eerie silence. In 1998, a newlywed couple, Laura and David, visited Seabreeze for their honeymoon. Intrigued by the legend, they decided to take romantic photos on the bridge at sunset. As the sun dipped below the horizon, they lingered, captivated by the beauty of the place. When they didn't return to their hotel, a search was launched. Their camera was found on the bridge, the last photo showing them smiling, unaware of the shadowy figures emerging behind them. The most chilling case occurred in 2015, when Jessica and Mark, a couple visiting from out of town, decided to test the legend. Armed with a video camera, they recorded their journey to the bridge at midnight. The footage, later recovered by authorities, showed them laughing and mocking the stories. But as they crossed the bridge, the camera began to glitch. Faint whispers could be heard, and shadowy figures appeared in the background. In the final moments, Jessica's laughter turned to screams, and the camera cut to static. The next morning, the camera was found on the bridge, but Jessica and Mark were gone. In 2020, a team of paranormal investigators, determined to uncover the truth behind Lover's Bridge, set up camp near the site. They brought state-of-the-art equipment, night vision cameras, audio recorders, and motion sensors. For hours, nothing unusual happened. Then, just after midnight, the equipment began to malfunction. The cameras captured distorted images of two figures standing on the bridge, their faces blurred, but their hands clasped tightly together. The audio recordings picked up faint whispers, pleading, and crying. One voice, clear and chilling, said, "Join us." The investigators, terrified but determined, decided to split up. One of them, Alex, stayed behind on the bridge while the others retreated to analyze the data. Alex never returned. The next morning, the remaining investigators found his journal near the bridge. The final entry read, "Elena and Thomas aren't trapped here. They're waiting. They want others to share their fate, to keep them company in the darkness. The bridge isn't cursed, it's a gateway. And once you cross it after midnight, there's no turning back." Since then, the town has considered demolishing the bridge, but every attempt has been met with accidents, equipment failures, and even injuries. Locals say it's the work of Elena and Thomas, protecting the only place where they can be together. Today, Lover's Bridge remains standing, a crumbling relic of a tragic love story. The town has posted warning signs, but they're often ignored. On quiet nights, the whispers can still be heard, and shadowy figures are seen walking hand in hand. Some say the bridge is a monument to love. Others believe it's a prison for lost souls. But one thing is certain: if you visit Lover's Bridge after midnight, you may never leave.